Welcome to Rio.
What's up, explorers? Welcome back to our channel. It's the Choose here from Choose to Explore, where we teach you guys how to see the world
and save $1. We came back to Rio for the Black Travel Summit this year, and he spoke on a panel about ethical storytelling, and we actually ended up winning the 2025 Creator of the Year award, which is still wild. We'll put a little bit of that on the screen, but this video is all about the top things to do in Rio.
So these are the things that we think should be on every single Rio itinerary. So we'll break this down with costs, tips, and what you should expect. Let's get into this. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Christ the Redeemer. Like, did you even go to Rio if you didn't see Christ the Redeemer? I mean, it is one of the 7 wonders of the world, so you gotta see this.
So Christ the Redeemer is iconic for a reason, but the honest truth is that even if you go first thing in the morning, it's busy.
So we actually waited in Christ the Redeemer's line before it even opened up. Everybody's rushing up there to get their solo Christ the Redeemer pics with nobody else around. And even though we were in the first car there was still so many people in our photos. So I do recommend to come early so it's less people in your photos, but just know that generally speaking, there's gonna be a lot of people there.
So definitely, sunrise lighting is beautiful, but just don't expect empty. Sunset is also a gorgeous time to go, and it might be less harsh for photos, but the most important thing is that you go on a clear day when you can actually see Christ the Redeemer.
To be honest with you, I'd recommend planning your trip around the clarity of Christ the Redeemer. Literally, if you look outside and it looks clear, I think that is the day you need to go to Christ the Redeemer. We actually booked our ticket the same day that we went and saw Christ the Redeemer, like literally 30 minutes or an hour right before. And our decision was solely based on the clarity. We went in 2024 and we paid a little under $18 per person, but this is for sure a must do.
So now we're going to talk about one of our favorite viewpoints in Rio, and that is Sugarloaf Mountain.
If you guys didn't learn from us before, I'll tell you again. Rio is home of some of the best sunrises and sunsets in the world, and Sugarloaf Mountain fits right in that category.
So you actually take 2 cable cars up, and each level gets better. Sunset here is pretty hard to beat.
But here's a tip for you guys. Like Christ the Redeemer, this is a very busy touristy spot. If we wouldn't have bought our tickets beforehand, we would have been waiting in line for 30 minutes or an hour, maybe even more. We bought our tickets beforehand and we were able to go in the express line that got us right through. This experience was about $35 per person when we went, and we have it linked right below. One thing that was really cool and interesting about Sugarloaf Mountain is these little monkeys. We were there and I was like, this is not a monkey. Why did they call these things a monkey? There are these cute little animals that are around, but just be mindful that while they are cute, they are wild animals. Don't feed them. And it also has some of the best views of Christ the Redeemer as well. We got amazing photos here. So we just gave you guys one of our favorite sunsets. Now let's talk about one of our favorite sunrises in the world.
Yes, so sunrise at Mirante Dona Marta is a must. Now sunrises of course vary throughout the year, so definitely do your Googles before you do plan your trip here so you don't miss out.
One thing to know is you got to be there before the sunrise. So that usually means it's pitch dark when you're getting there. We are one of the first people there, but as it gets closer to sunrise, a lot of people are going to pack that thing up. There are going to be many tour groups that are going to be here, and it's also very popular. But it's for a good reason. These views are phenomenal, but everybody and their mother is trying to get an amazing sunrise pic here.
And now let's talk about the views. You get Christ the Redeemer, Sugarloaf Mountain, the bay, everything all in one shot. Plus, it's a free viewpoint.
Did she say free? That is my favorite price point.
But definitely go with a driver or a guide. We cannot stress this enough. Getting an Uber back is almost impossible. And actually, it didn't even happen for us.
Luckily, the people in Brazil are amazing, even though we don't even speak Portuguese. We did sign language and they realized that we couldn't find a ride back. So they literally took us all the way back to where we wanted to be. And they did not accept any money, any reals from us. So shout out to the Brazilians. You guys are the best.
So definitely arrange for round trip transport here to this viewpoint and don't rely on the rideshare. And if you want step-by-step details on how to get here, what's the best time to go, and safety tips, I wrote an entire Mirante Dona Marta blog on choosetoexplore.com, and it's linked in the description for you.
So we just talked about the best sunrises, the best sunsets, and now let's talk about something else that Rio is known for, and that's some of the best beaches and the best vibes in the world. So let's get into it. So the 2 main beaches that most people talk about when they come to Rio are going to be Copacabana and Ipanema. These beaches are going to be packed with people, whether they're tourists or they're locals. You're going to feel the vibe when you're there. In Rio de Janeiro, beach is a part of the culture. What I mean by that is this is not just you go by, get your feet wet, and you leave. For a lot of people, going to the beach is an all-day activity. And here's the best part. You need to bring nothing to have a good day. And when I say nothing, I mean it. You can rent beach chairs there. You could rent an umbrella. There's people walking around with caparinas and acai and pau de queijo and the corn. And did I mention, ladies, you don't even need to bring a swimsuit. There's guys walking around with tons of swimsuit just for you, Rio style.
And on Sundays, the beaches in Rio are best because the roads become pedestrian only, so it becomes one great big walking and bike lane.
The roads are closed to cars, but what replaces the cars are vendors. You can go and support local artists and vendors right there on the beach. Can't get any better than that.
So now right in between Ipanema and Copacabana beaches is actually Pedra do Arpoador.
Now, pardon if she butchered that, but the experience here is also a mouthful as well. Now, this rock actually bisects Ipanema and Copacabana. And the best part is if you spend all day on the beach, either one of them, you don't have to go too far to have the most amazing sunset. And even though you are on a rock and you think like, I'm just chilling, the whole community comes out and sits on the rock and has a time. I was so surprised. Even the vendors are walking around barefoot, selling drinks, selling food. It's just a vibe. And when the sun sets, people are there just admiring the beauty of God's work in Rio. Also, one of my favorite things about Rio de Janeiro is almost anywhere that you go, you can pay with a credit card. Just make sure that you have a card with no foreign transaction fees.
Yes, so that way the only thing you really need to worry about is what flavor cappuccino you're going to order.
Or what bikini you're going to wear.
Has this video been helpful so far? If so, be sure to hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
So one of the reasons why we say Rio de Janeiro is top 2 and maybe not 2 in our favorite cities in the world is because of the diversity of the city. You have the mountains, you have the beaches, and you have waterfalls. So let's talk about that other side now. Some of the best hikes and waterfalls are going to be in Rio, but just a little bit outside of the city center.
So during our time in Rio, we actually visited Tijuca National Park, and just a short hike, well, really just a walk from the entrance will get you right to this beautiful waterfall where you can cool off and escape from the crowds.
It was free to enter, but just be sure to bring a bathing suit and bug spray. We only visited one waterfall on our trip here, but there are so many different ones to see, so many different hikes, and so many beautiful trails here. So definitely check that out and explore if you do have the time. So Rio has beautiful nature, but it also has one of my favorite museums that we've ever been to.
Now we're talking about the Museum of Tomorrow, which is visually stunning, and right from the outside you can tell that something futuristic is inside.
Yeah, the building looks like Optimus Prime was about to come out of it, or one of the Transformers. It was like so cool and futuristic, and it's right there on water. It's so beautiful. As someone who cares about sustainability and the future of the world, this museum truly blew us away. It talks about Earth from its inception and has multiple floors talking about Brazilian culture and also its connection to the rest of the world. It also made you really conscious about your impact on the environment and how small changes could provide a better future for your kids and future generations.
And it only cost about $5 USD per person. We actually bought our tickets the same day. We walked right in and bought our tickets at the kiosk, and it was a great choice.
So the next thing that we're going to talk about is one of the main reasons that I even knew about Rio de Janeiro as a kid, as an adult, and this is the Selaron Steps. I remember back when Snoop Dogg and Pharrell did the oh video and they were dancing on the steps. I knew I had to get here.
The beautiful music video.
I don't know the names, I just know the vibes that they give, you know? But once again, this is a tourist attraction and there's going to be a lot of people there. Our best recommendation is to come super early. We came there around 6 o'clock in the morning and we had it all to ourselves, but it is getting more and more popular and you might have to come a little earlier than 6 if you want it by yourself.
Honestly, don't come before sunrise because then you'll just be there in the dark. But honestly, the earlier in the morning, the better for less people in the background of your pictures. But again, by mid-morning, it's more lively. If you want more of a vibe like that, you could come during mid-morning, midday. It's just a great stop either way.
But these stairs are so impressive. It started out by the artist Selaron, who started one tile after another all by himself, but it definitely has grown and you'll see tiles from all over the world there. And
I've also written an entire blog post on the Selaron Steps, including what's the best time to visit, safety tips, and what else you should pair it with around Lapa, and that can be found on choosetoexplore.com and linked in the description below.
And also, this is my favorite price, which is free. So Rio de Janeiro is a vibe. I don't need to tell you, you can literally feel it. But for all my people who don't pass the vibe check and can't feel the rhythm in Rio, I got a place where you can see the rhythm in Rio. So Rio is known for their Samba dance parties, and here you can really get moving. Hopefully a little better than I do.
So we'll give you 2 recommendations for Samba in Rio. On Monday nights, you can head over to Pedra do Sal, which is crowded, it's outdoors, it's lively, and there's a lot of vendors there for food and drinks.
Think about this as more of a block party. It's right there in Little Africa, and it's just amazing. One thing that really impressed me about these Samba parties is you think it's just people dancing and moving, but really, it's like line dancing. It's like they're in an electric slide times 60. There are so many steps, side to side, back and forth, and I don't know how everybody knows it, but they get grooving. And the next place that we recommend is actually on Saturdays under the bridge in Madureira. I think that's how you say it. We didn't actually go to this one, but a lot of our friends who were here for Black Travel Summit went and had an amazing time. And they actually told me if you go early, you can actually get lessons. So you could try, like I said, try to follow along with the choreography.
So these are both really fun options to add to your Rio itinerary.
If you're the kind of traveler who needs a little bit of thrill, don't worry, Rio de Janeiro got you. I'm gonna give you 2 activities for some of the best views and also the best experiences. The first one is gonna be an open door helicopter ride. Typically for a 30-minute ride, you're gonna pay something like $200 US. You're gonna circle around the bay, you're gonna see Christ the Redeemer, you're gonna see Sugarloaf Mountain. It's gonna be gorgeous and stunning. And the footage that you're gonna catch here is going to be top tier. And the next experience is, if you really wanna get into the thrill of it, is hang gliding. You're literally suspended on a hang glider in Superman position, going through the clouds, overlooking Rio de Janeiro, and it is gorgeous. The views are phenomenal. I haven't done this one yet, but I have a 10-year Brazil visa, so maybe in the next 10 years I might do it. Maybe if you guys get the Queen to do it with me, I would absolutely do it. But for right now, it looks like it might just be me.
He's got that right. All right, so our last top thing to do is something for people who are like me, who don't really like thrills, but kind of want to make it look like you like thrills.
And I do want to preface that while this is top things to do in Rio, it is a little bit outside of Rio, but it's close enough to add it on our list, if you do have the time for it.
So this is about an hour outside of the Rio city center, and this is the famous hanging off a cliff photo illusion spot. And you do have to hike there.
The hike will take you somewhere around 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on your fitness level.
And also bearing in mind that it is very hot in Rio.
So that means bring some water.
Yes, bring lots and lots of water and definitely a lot of bug spray.
2 more things that I did like about this hike is, number 1, you can do it by yourself. You don't need a tour guide in order to take you there. We literally took an Uber from the city and we did the hike ourselves. Secondly, it's free.
Particularly if you bring your own camera, but there is a photographer at the spot to take pictures for you, so don't worry if you don't have your own camera.
Also, the photographer that is there charges really reasonable prices. I remember it being like under $5 for all the photos that he was taking, and he's always taking photos, so he knows the best angles to capture. This way, your wife can't be mad at you for taking horrible photos after an hour-long hike. Don't worry, I'm not talking from first-hand experience.
So Rio really has everything: beaches, mountains, food, culture, and the kindest people.
And that's one of the reasons why it's one of our favorite cities in the world.
And if you're planning your own trip to Rio de Janeiro, we have plenty of free articles on choosetoexplore.com. And if you want a deeper dive, we have way more details inside of our Explore Brazil travel guide, also on choosetoexplore.com. And this isn't the end. We actually explored way more of Brazil on our most recent trip. So if you want to see what else this country has to offer, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on so you can see our vlogs in Salvador, Iguazu, as well as Sao Paulo.
So thank you guys so much for checking out our channel. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here rocking with the Choose, and we truly appreciate that. So please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Choose out.